Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling when your biggest headaches are actually just tiny things that somehow got huge?
Oh, absolutely. Blown way out of proportion.
Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're
Oh.
taking the source material you gave us
Mm-hmm.
and pulling out the key insights. Kind of a shortcut, really, to getting up to speed without feeling totally overwhelmed.
And today, our focus is all about strategies for not sweating the small stuff.
Mm,
We're diving into Richard Carlson's classic book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's all small stuff.
right.
It's a book he dedicated to his daughters, and, he acknowledges all the support he had. But it really hits on something basic. The way we usually react when things go wrong often doesn't help.
Doesn't serve us well at all.
Exactly. We tend to overreact to little things, make mountains out of molehills, focus on the negative.
Yeah, and Carlson's point is, when we're constantly letting little things get under our skin, it's not just making us miserable. It actually stops us from dealing with the stuff that really does matter. He even mentions a specific story, doesn't he? That sparked the title.
He does, yeah, we can weave that in. But the core idea, the really powerful one, is that if we consciously tweak how we look at things,
Just shift your perspective.
life can become so much, easier,
Yeah.
more graceful, more inner calm.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. Pull out those actionable strategies.
That's it. Give you concrete takeaways, things you can actually use to, get some perspective, cut down the stress, find a bit more inner peace day to day.
All right, let's get into it. The book kicks off with that William James quote. Something about changing our attitude changes our lives.
Yeah, it sets the stage perfectly. It's all about the sheer power of shifting your perspective.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
About what we call small stuff versus big stuff.
And how our emotional reaction can completely mess with that distinction.
Totally. Something tiny happens, we get all worked up.
And boom, it feels like a major crisis.
Right. And the book really stresses how our relationship with the problem affects how quickly we actually solve it.
Which leads to this really interesting idea the book proposes,
Okay.
that we can actually consciously replace those automatic negative reactions.
Like a habit.
Exactly. Replace them with new habits, new ways of seeing things. And the intro suggests that's the path to richer, more satisfying lives.
I like that. Replacing old habits with new ones.
Absolutely. And one of the first big strategies the book dives into is, making peace with imperfection.
Oh, that's huge. Especially today, right? In our sort of achievement-driven world.
It really is. Carlson basically says that our constant chase for perfection and our deep desire for inner calm are often like fighting each other.
They're in conflict.
Yeah. When we're obsessed with things being just so, or ourselves being better, or others meeting our standards, we're basically setting ourselves up for constant frustration.
It's like fighting a losing battle internally.
Totally. If you surrender to the fact that things aren't perfect, you actually free up all that energy for what really matters. And that's where the calm comes from.
Not from achieving perfection.
Right. And it applies everywhere, doesn't it? Our own stuff, maybe the house is a bit messy, or a project didn't land perfectly.
Or something we see in someone else.
Exactly. That laser focus on what's wrong just pulls us away from kindness, from feeling content. The book uses such relatable examples.
Like what?
Oh, a messy drawer, a tiny scratch on the car, the way someone else acts.
Yeah, okay. The everyday stuff.
That's the small stuff that can so easily steal our peace. But, and this is crucial, it's not saying just give up or stop trying your best.
Right. It's not about lowering standards.
Not at all. It's more about loosening that death grip, that attachment to a specific outcome, learning to appreciate things as they are right now.
The book suggests an exercise for that, doesn't it?
It does. Just gently reminding yourself, life is actually okay right now, even with the imperfections.
So it's finding a different kind of perfection, like the perfection in life itself, by letting go of needing everything to be flawless by our definition.
Beautifully put, yeah. And that connects to another idea that really resonated with me, letting go of the superachiever myth.
Ah, yes. The idea that you have to be stressed to be successful.
So many of us buy into that, don't we? That if we relax, become more peaceful.
We'll lose our edge,
Yeah,
become lazy, achieve less.
right. But the book really pushes back on that.
How so?
Well, it argues that fearful, frantic thinking actually drains our energy. It kills creativity.
So any success we get despite that anxiety isn't because of it.
Exactly. The irony is the stress clouds our judgment. It eats up the mental resources we need for real innovation, for effective action. Peace isn't anti-ambition. It's the foundation for sustainable success.
And Carlson observed this in real life, right?
Yeah.
Peaceful people who are also very successful.
Yeah, he mentions authors, parents, CEOs, people who are deeply peaceful and loving, but also highly effective and successful in their fields. It really makes you question that whole stress-success equation.
So inner peace isn't a roadblock. It's an enabler.
It can be a powerful one when your mind isn't just a whirlwind of worry.
You can focus better.
Concentrate better,
Yeah.
focus more effectively, yeah. And ultimately be more successful in reaching your goals.
Which leads nicely into that idea of the snowball effect of thinking.
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there. One negative thought starts rolling.
And suddenly it's an avalanche.
That example in the book, waking up and instantly worrying about a phone call you have to make later. So relatable.
Yes, one little worry just balloons into this cascade of anxiety, imagining the worst.
Psychologically, they call that rumination, right? Where the negative thoughts trigger emotions, which fuel more thoughts. A vicious cycle.
Yeah, those thought attacks. Mentally rehearsing arguments or problems.
That might never even happen. It just steals your peace right now.
So what's the fix? According to the book.
Notice it early. Before it gathers steam, nip it in the bud.
Like that phone call example, instead of dreading it.
Reframe it. Focus on gratitude that you remembered the call instead of getting overwhelmed by what might happen.
That's a good shift. And writing things down at night.
Yeah, seems like a really practical way to just clear your head before sleep.
Because dwelling on feeling overwhelmed just makes it worse.
Exactly. Interrupting that cycle is key.
Okay, another powerful strategy. Cultivating compassion.
Yes. I think in our busy lives, it's easy to get stuck in our own heads, isn't it?
Definitely. So how does Carlson define compassion here?
It's about intentionally putting yourself in someone else's shoes, taking the focus off your own stuff for a moment, and genuinely trying to feel love for them, recognizing their struggles, their pain. It's a real shift away from being self-centered.
And he links helping others to feeling more grateful ourselves.
Yeah, it's fascinating. When you reach out, offer support, somehow it deepens your own appreciation for what you have.
So there are two parts to developing it. Intention and action.
That's right. First, the intention consciously opening your heart. Then the action actually doing something. Doesn't have to be huge.
Like that Mother Teresa quote.
Exactly. We cannot do great things on this earth. We can only do small things with great love. Beautifully put.
It's a powerful way to shift focus, isn't it? Away from our own big stuff.
And towards the miracle of life itself. Connecting, feeling empathy, puts daily anxieties in perspective.
Okay, let's tackle something I know I struggle with. The never empty in basket. That constant to-do list pressure.
Oh, for sure. It's like this unspoken belief that the goal of life is to get everything done.
Right. We push, we sacrifice downtime, maybe even time with family.
All chasing this mythical state of empty.
Which the book says is basically flawed thinking.
Fundamentally flawed. Because the moment you tick something off...
Something else pops up.
Exactly. The in basket is supposed to have things in it. A full one can even mean, you're needed, your skills are in demand.
But the key reminder
is that your happiness, your peace, your loved ones, that stuff should come first, not the endless task list.
The book argues most things can wait.
Almost everything. Very, very little is a true emergency, even when it feels like it.
So it forces that bigger question.
Yeah.
What's the real point?
Yeah. Is it just racing to finish tasks? Or is it savoring the journey, living with love, connecting?
That image of unfinished business at the end. Someone else handles it.
It's a bit sobering, but liberating too, right? Helps reset priorities.
Definitely. Which connects to another key idea, living in the present.
Ah, yes. So fundamental. The book really hammers this home. Peace of mind comes from being here, now, not stuck in the past or worried about the future.
It's amazing how much time we spend not being present, isn't it?
Worrying about what's done, anxious about what's next. It just steals the richness of this moment.
And that habit of postponing happiness.
Someday I'll be happy when.
Yeah, someday never quite arrives, does it? Like that John Lennon quote.
Life is what's happening while you're busy making other plans. So true. Because right now is the only time we actually have any control.
And being present tackles fear too, right? Since fear is usually about the future.
Exactly. Fear is about what might happen. Being present anchors you. Remember that Mark Twain quote?
About worrying about terrible things that never happened?
Most of which never happen, highlights how useless so much worry is.
Okay, let's shift to how we see other people. The book has some interesting strategies there.
It does. One that really jumped out at me was kind of counterintuitive. Imagining everyone else is enlightened except you.
Okay, explain that one. Sounds a bit odd.
The thinking is, if you assume everyone you meet, even the annoying ones, is there to teach you something,
Oh, okay.
you automatically become more patient, less judgmental, less irritated.
So the rude driver, the difficult teenager, they become teachers.
Potential teachers, yeah. Like the slow postal clerk example in the book.
Right, instead of getting mad.
You pause and ask, okay, what's the lesson here? Patience. Compassion for someone maybe having a tough day.
It's shifting the internal question from, why are they doing this to me?
To what can I learn? Exactly. Curiosity instead of annoyance.
And that leads straight into that other big question the book asks.
Do I want to be right? Or do I want to be happy?
Oof, that one hits hard.
Doesn't it? Our need to be right, to win the argument. It drains so much energy, and it pushes people away.
It's true. We get locked into proving our point, even over tiny things.
And the book points out what people really crave is being heard, understood.
Not constantly corrected.
Right. People who listen are loved. People who always correct are resented.
I mean, sometimes you do need to stand up for what's right.
Of course, absolutely. But often, it's just ego, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the suggestion is, practice letting others be right, even if you disagree. See it as practice for peace. It can transform relationships.
And that ties right into patience again.
Directly. Patience isn't just waiting, it's actively choosing to accept life as it is in this moment instead of fighting it.
Without patience, everything feels frustrating.
Constantly irritating. Patience brings calm acceptance. It's essential for inner peace. It means opening your heart to right now, even if you don't like it. Like being stuck in traffic.
Getting mad doesn't help.
Doesn't change the light faster. Just stresses you out. Patience is accepting the wait, staying calm.
And it helps with seeing people differently, too. Seeing the innocence.
Yeah, like that example with the author's daughter interrupting him.
Ah, right. Seeing the love behind it, not malice.
Exactly. Recognizing the underlying motive shifts your whole perspective, fosters patience naturally.
The book suggests actually scheduling patience practice periods.
Yeah, like little workouts for your patience muscle. Start small, maybe 5 minutes. Consciously choose patience in a situation that would normally annoy you.
The more you practice, the stronger it gets.
Like any muscle, it builds capacity over time.
And keeping perspective. Patience stops small things from becoming fake emergencies.
Exactly. Remembering most things aren't life or death. Keep your cool.
Okay, another angle. Taking loving action, even when it feels tough.
Yes. Overcoming that tendency to hold on to resentment, waiting for the other person.
Like that story about the woman and her son, not speaking for years over an argument.
So sad and so common. We get entrenched.
And the book's point is, being right is rarely worth sacrificing your happiness or peace.
Letting go, reaching out, even if it feels unfair, brings such release. And often it softens the other person too, makes them less defensive.
Even if their immediate reaction isn't perfect.
Right. And that time warp game, asking yourself, will this matter in a year?
Such a great perspective check. For arguments, mistakes, lost keys.
Things that feel hugey right now. It helps you see what's truly important versus what's just small stuff.
Cuts down the anger, the overwhelm. Frees up energy.
Which brings us to accepting reality, especially the tough part. Life isn't always fair.
Yeah, that can be hard to swallow. But the book says accepting it is liberating.
It is. We waste so much energy feeling sorry for ourselves or expecting perfect fairness that just doesn't always happen.
So accepting it lets you focus on what you can do.
Exactly. Do your best with what you've got instead of getting stuck on what should be. And it fosters compassion, not pity.
For yourself and others.
Right. The book suggests just reminding yourself life isn't fair when things feel unjust.
And what about how society almost admires stress?
Isn't that strange? The book suggests our stress level matches our tolerance for it.
Meaning if we think we can handle more, we take more on.
Pretty much. So the advice is, lower your tolerance. Notice stress early mind racing, schedule packed, feeling out of control, and back off.
Don't just power through.
Relax, reevaluate. Don't ignore the signals.
I really like the focus on small acts having a big impact too.
Me too. It's easy to think you need grand gestures, but simple things matter.
Like sending someone an unexpected note.
Yeah, it shifts your focus to the positive, and it can create this lovely ripple effect of kindness.
And that exercise about imagining your own funeral. A bit intense, but powerful.
Definitely intense, but it cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? What really matters? What are your priorities?
It's a wake-up call. A reminder of that common regret. Spending too much time sweating the small stuff.
Prompts you to make changes now while you can, And that mantra, life isn't an emergency.
So crucial.
The book mentions clients neglecting family, homemakers stressed over perfect houses, all because they're treating everything like a crisis.
We create our own emergencies by taking things too seriously.
Often, yes. Which leads to some practical mind management tools,
Okay.
like the back burner technique.
Intriguing. What's that exactly?
It's like letting your mind work on a problem subconsciously in the background while you focus on the present.
Like simmering soup.
Exactly. Less interference, often a better result. It's not denial or
It's
procrastination.
just gentle mental holding.
Right. Letting your subconscious do some work without the conscious pressure.
And the gratitude practice. Thinking of someone to thank each day.
Simple, but powerful for cultivating peace. Gratitude and peace are deeply linked.
Starting the day with it shifts your whole mindset. Counters negativity.
Definitely. And those small social things, smiling at strangers, eye contact, saying hello.
Ways to open your heart. Recognize shared humanity.
Yes. The book suggests your attitude towards strangers often reflects your overall happiness.
And setting aside quiet time daily.
Yeah.
For reflection.
Absolutely vital. Meditation, nature, a quiet bath, whatever works for you. Like the author stopping his car before getting home, creating that buffer.
What about those imaginative exercises for dealing with irritating people?
Oh yeah, picturing them as babies. Or as really old.
Does that work?
Surprisingly well. It fosters perspective, compassion. Hard to stay furious at a mental image of a tiny infant or a frail elder.
And listening. True listening, not just waiting to talk.
So important. The book calls rushed communication a race. True listening is being present, content to just hear.
Slowing down responses, really listening, reduces your stress and makes the other person feel heard.
Win-win. And choosing your battles wisely. Not just with kids, but in everything.
Fighting over small stuff just leads to frustration.
Consciously deciding what's worth the energy. Letting the minor disagreements go.
Being aware of moods, too. Not letting a low mood distort everything.
Remembering this too shall pass. Moods are temporary.
And that idea. Life is a test. It is only a test.
A great way to lighten up. See challenges as growth opportunities, not catastrophes. Redefine problems as tests. What can I learn here?
Okay, moving into interpersonal harmony. Navigating relationships better.
Yeah, like that idea praise and blame are all the same.
Meaning you can't please everyone.
Pretty much, except that disapproval happens. Don't get too attached to praise either. It all fluctuates.
And practice random acts of kindness.
A great way to shift focus outward, feel joy, create positive ripples.
Looking beyond behavior,
Yeah.
trying to see intentions, challenges.
Giving people the benefit of the doubt more often, and see the innocence, even when behavior is frustrating.
Trying to see where it comes from with compassion.
Right. And that recurring theme, choose being kind over being right.
Because making others feel bad ultimately makes you feel bad.
Exactly. And simple things, like telling 3 people you love them today, practicing humility, just doing tasks without keeping score.
Avoiding weatherproofing.
Yeah.
That's constantly finding flaws.
Yeah, in relationships and life, appreciating things as they are instead.
Thinking of someone to love each day, redirecting attention to the positive.
And redefining anthropology as just being interested, without judgment, in how others live. Fosters compassion, replaces judgment with kindness.
Understanding separate realities, everyone has their own unique view.
Don't impose yours on them. Respect their perspective.
Developing your own helping rituals. Little acts of service.
Like picking up litter, holding doors, opportunities to be kind.
Telling someone daily what you appreciate about them.
Powerful impact. And remembering not to argue for your limitations, you might convince yourself.
Seeing a touch of the divine or something greater in everything helps perspective.
Can broaden your view during challenges, yeah. And resisting the urge to criticize, it's often just a bad habit, fosters negativity.
That exercise of writing down stubborn positions and trying to soften them.
Interesting self-reflection and playfully agreeing with criticism might just diffuse it.
Searching for the grain of truth in other opinions fosters connection, learning.
All great points for smoother relationships.
Which brings us finally to cultivating inner peace itself.
Yes, that core idea of driving from the inside out.
Our inner state dictates our experience more than the outside world does.
Exactly. And practicing ignoring negative thoughts, seeing them as just thoughts, without power unless you give it to them.
Being willing to learn from friends and family, even about our blind spots.
Requires humility, but it's a fast track to growth. Ask them.
And that reminder, be happy where you are, don't postpone joy.
Like that quote, learn to dance in the rain, don't just wait for the storm to pass. Life is the obstacles sometimes.
You become what you practice most, so choose practices wisely.
Patience, kindness, gratitude, and quieting the mind. Meditation, even briefly. Foundational for peace, perspective.
Looking for the extraordinary in the ordinary fosters awe, gratitude.
Finding wonder in simple things. And scheduling time for inner work reading, reflection. Make it a priority, not an afterthought.
And the book's final strategy.
The ultimate perspective shift. Live this day as if it were your last. It might be.
Wow. Puts everything in focus.
Appreciate the preciousness of life. Don't get bogged down in stuff that just doesn't matter in the grand scheme.
So, wrapping this all up, our deep dive into don't sweat the small stuff really shows, well, that most of our stress isn't from huge crises.
It's from how we react to the little things, isn't it?
Yeah. The power is in shifting perspective, adopting new habits, prioritizing peace over perfectionism.
Compassion over judgment, being present instead of lost in worry.
So we really hope you'll take a moment, think about which of these ideas, these strategies really resonated with you.
Maybe pick just one or two. Try incorporating them into your daily life. See what happens. Notice the impact on your well-being.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. With all these chances, big and small, to choose peace instead of stress, what's just one small stuff situation you'll try to approach differently starting today?
Something to mull over. Maybe explore these ideas a bit more.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.